something special, I want to call it, because in the 80s, the US had gangster rap. They had NWA. Well, we had Chalino Sanchez. Let's get on this. Hey, what's up, man? JC, Wrong Strong. Welcome back. As you can see, I'm getting more comfortable with the camera. Oh man, it took a little bit of time, but you know, it's getting there. So I always explain to people, you know, and that I guess you could say born in America, Americans, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I'm an American, I'm born here too, but I always kept close roots to, you know, my Mexican culture. And I always explain to even my black buddies and stuff like that, tell them that we have rap also in Mexico, but it's just corridos. And these are, you know, now they have narco corridos, and what a narco what would a narco corrido be without Chalino Sanchez? So a lot of people that may not know who he is, but he was the NWA for narco corridos. He started talking about the stuff that was going on in the hood in Mexico. I mean, corrido is just like rap. It's poetry, tells a story about real shit, about people in the hood, people going through stuff, you know. And then narco corridos took a turn into just like gangster rap. It started talking about, as you know, as drug lords kind of like got bigger and stuff like that, people started to analyze them with the songs and, you know, showing respect. And that's where, you know, Chalino pretty much made his print. There is no, you know, I talk about all these, you know, cartels, kingpins, and my life in Mexico working for that family and all that stuff. But I grew up listening to Chalino, his stories and stuff like that. And I guess that's what made me, you know, want to live that lifestyle, just listening to the stories. But, you know, Chalino came from a very poor family, 7 kids, and it's said that his sister was raped by this rich, powerful man, and they were from a small town. So I guess Chalino later on in the future seen him at a party and took his life, shot him, and moved to LA after that. And that's pretty much how it was kind of like norm in Mexico. When you were like from a small town and you did something like that, you pretty much just kind of like ran. It wasn't like how it is here in the US, where like they'll be like searching for you, you know, like crazy, and eventually they'll find you. Like over there, you kind of did that and you got away. You never came back to that town, and that was it. You got away with it. I seen a lot of dudes in Moroleon go through that. I seen a lot of dudes in Moroleon that were from Chicago that had did something over there and then moved over there and stayed over there. So it was kind of like the norm. And you know, it's said that he was young. He was young, seen the man at the party, pulled out his gun, and you know, killed him. And he ended up, you know, fleeing. He ran to LA to live with one of his aunts, and he started working at the border. He started working at the border as a pollero. A pollero is a person that crosses people over illegally. So he makes sure that you make it into the US from Mexico. And this is the thing, you know, back then, crossing people over and, you know, smuggling, all that stuff's always been happening. You know, it makes me laugh when people think like now, like how they're, you know, they want to build a wall and do this and do that. That's been happening since 1930. Like, there is no stopping it. As long as there is a demand, there will be a supplier, no matter what. So, you know, it just makes it, they make it look good, pretty much, because it's never going to stop. So, you know, him working in that border, bringing people over like that from Tijuana into California and stuff like that, you're going to be around some grimy people. You know, his brother was killed in a hotel in Tijuana, and that's what inspired his first corrido, to pretty much remember his brother and you know, keep his memory alive. But it's he really didn't start writing until he did some time in La Mesa. He did some time there. He sat down, started writing. He was making songs for like local, you know, drug dealers, people that were in that field. And he started, you know, making it. Actually, he made it. I mean, he went to LA, recorded, and he actually performed. And it's crazy because a lot of people started connecting, you know, with his music. Americanized Hispanics, like, you know, Chicanos that have been born in LA. He inspired a new generation to get in touch with their Mexican, you know, ancestry, with their roots. So they started listening to him, and it sparked up this whole thing. You know, he performed multiple times in LA, and his music just started to take off. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is that, you know, like I said, without Chalino, there's, you know, corridos, all this stuff started, the cartel stuff. This is our rap. This is our way of poetry and telling a story of the hood in Mexico. This is the way rap is over there. He tells a story about, you know, passing drugs. He tells a story about somebody murdering somebody. It's poetry. It's life. You know, and what really kind of like gave him his fucking G card. I think it was January 20th, 1992. He was singing and performing in LA, and someone tried to go up there and kill him, and he got into a shootout. And like 10 people were like shot, one died. That dude ended up getting caught. He got sent to prison. But it got him his like real G card, because people seen that, you know, when that dude started shooting, he pulled out his gun, he started shooting. So it was actually a pretty big shootout. So it gave him his G card, where people were like, okay, he's the real deal. Just listen to him. Same thing, like, I mean, let's take for example now. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube channels about different things. There's actually dudes that have done time. There's actually dudes that just talk about it. And that's the thing, is that he got his G card because he actually took care of business, and, you know, was the real deal. I love Chalino. I listen to all his stuff to this day still. May 16, 92, he was murdered in Culiacan, and, you know, in the middle of the show he was performing, he was handed a note, and it is believed to have been the death threat that killed him later that night by the cartel. But Chalino, being Chalino and who he was, he finished the show, didn't run, you know, stayed there, and after the show he left. After the show, it was reported that he was stuffed by a couple cars with armed men, and, you know, a few hours later he was found blindfolded with 2 bullets in the head. You know, it's still a mystery. Sure. His son Adan was the youngest ever to be a headliner to perform at the Kodiak Theater. He died a suspicious death in a car accident in Sinaloa. 2 years after that. I mean, just like NWA and Public Enemy, man, Chalino inspired many generations and still inspiring to this day. It was important for me to make this video to inform you guys about this, about him. If you don't know who he is, please look him up. Listen to some of his music, even if you don't understand Spanish. Just listen to it and you'll see what I mean. My name's JC. I am Wrong to Strong. I share my story with you guys as a learning tool to teach you, not to glorify nothing that I'm doing, nothing that I did in the past or who I know or who I hung around with, but it's to show you that change is possible and that you can go from wrong to strong and change your life. Don't judge nobody, stay in your lane, and give somebody a hug. I love you guys. See you next time.